On today's show, we head over to the UK and to the Oulton Park Circuit in the Cheshire region for rounds 7 to 9 of the 2020 British Touring Car Championship. In what is an already tightly fought contest, the first 6 races have been dominated by 4 different drivers, and the unpredictability is sure to continue. Then we wind the clock back to 2014 and to where it all began for high-tech drift in Australia. We're heading to the Sydney Motorsport Park Figure 8 circuit and look back on the final round of the inaugural high-tech Figure 8 Drift Series, the precursor to the ever-popular Drift All-Stars. This is Speedweek.
So, in terms of predicting a winner, is there any science in this, or is it just tossing a coin? They are on the grid, we are good to go, and a quick prediction, Tim.
I'm going to say Turkington because I think he'll get past them on the start.
Let's see, because round 7 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is set to get underway. The last handful of cars head to the grid, some at the bottom of Deer Leap, a long way back. Of course, it's a stretched grid with it being a 1-by-1 stagger. Everybody is back. Carl Bordley, the one that's absent after his dramas on the original formation lap. 5-second board is displayed. Who is going to get the best start? Let's find out as the lights go red. Lights out, it's blast off. Good start by Turkington. Lots of wheel spin for Josh Cook. He's going to get mugged by Matt Neal and by Dan Camish. Tom Oliphant's on his toes on the outside line. Rory Butcher leads into Old Hall corner for the first time. Butcher leads. Turkington right behind him. Tries to get the switch back. Oliphant's up to 3rd. Absolute dynamite start from Oliphant as they head down towards Cascades, and Stephen Jelly has got nowhere. I'm afraid he needs push power from the marshals to get him out of harm's way, but Butcher leads at Cascades.
Well, I have to say that was a brilliant start by Butcher. He virtually matched Turkington and held him to the inside, held the track to the inside. That was a brilliant start. Cook was the big loser, although now he's coming down the outside.
He's on his toes, isn't he? As he tries to go around the outside of Dan Camish there. You can see how wet and nasty the conditions are. There's lots of spray as they plunge down through Cascades. So Rory Butcher leads the way. 30 kilos plays the 60 of the BMW. Oliphant is 3rd. Josh Cook crawling all over him in 4th position. But Rory Butcher has got the best of the visibility, but equally he is the first man on every lap and every corner to find what the grip level is like.
Yeah, I hope they didn't adjust their settings back towards the dry when it stopped raining on the grid, because this is full wet, absolutely. Lots of spray coming up, but a great first lap so far. Jelly has actually rejoined from the pit lane, so they got his car off the grid and going again. But so he's going to be down just in front. There he goes.
So a long way back is Stephen Jelly. He's going to put him at the back of the grid for race 2 as Josh Cook makes a move to the inside of Tom Oliphant. That's the 3rd race. He's going to go through, gets the line on the inside, runs Oliphant out wide. The BMW, though, gets the drive out of the corner. Josh Cook can't quite stay alongside, ready to make a move on the inside at Old Hall. He's also got to defend from Dan Camish, look, number 27 there, who is next in the queue. But Cook up the inside into Old Hall. He is determined to take the place, but great defence this by Oliphant.
Yeah, this is an angry Cook. This is the driving of a man that knew he lost out at the start. He was brave round the outside of Camish into Island hairpin on round lap 1, and it worked out, and he's really looking like he intended to try and fight for the win, and is annoyed with himself for making the bad start.
Tom Ingram's gained a bit of progress. He's up to 11th. Also, Ollie Jackson is making progress. He's up into 14th place. But Cook is under attack from Camish. Remember, Cook has got no weight in that car, so in theory it should be very quick indeed. But right now he's trying to attack Oliphant. He's trying to keep at bay Camish. Over Hilltop, down towards his lots comes the top 2, split by 7/10 at the end of the previous lap. And although Butcher leads, he can't shake off Turkington as they paddle their way through his lot. That is properly wet and nasty now.
Yeah, everything looking fairly even at the moment relative to front and rear wheel drivers. Ingram and some get running as they come out of the Nickelbrook chicane.
So Sutton then heading into Knickerbrook corner on the outside line. This is what happened at the Island Bend hairpin a lap ago. And you see contact, which is Jack Goff getting involved there with Bobby Thompson, and that's done damage to Jack's Volkswagen. So here are the race leaders then up to the end of lap 2 of 14. Josh Cook in the background, goes one side, goes the other. He tried this a lap ago. This time it works, but does he go out wide? No, he's got the job done. Can he stay there? Yes, he can, up dear lead. So Josh Cook released from behind Oliphant. Now remember, no ballast in that Honda. Can he go after the top two? The lead gap is up slightly to 9/10 of a second now as Butcher starts to get away.
Yeah, the ballast makes slightly less difference in the wet. It's all about grip, but clearly Cook's car was working really well because he sold the dummy there to Oliphant and threw the car down the inside and stopped it and got it turned. So his car's working very well indeed.
So there is Rory Butcher, the race leader, came oh so close to success at Brands Hatch. But look at Josh Cook, because now he's on the back of Turkington, who's going defensive. So Butcher has just stormed away into the distance. Turkington dropping back as he has to defend from Josh Cook. Cook, therefore, needs to get past very soon indeed. Otherwise, Butcher is going to pull out a big gap. And Oliphant's lost another place. Look, Camish is up to 4th now.
Yeah, Camish got through as well, didn't he? I think on the run to the line, because he was shown as in front then. Or just after the line.
Turkington a little bit deep into his lot, compromises the run through the chicane out of Knickerbrook now. Is this where Cook tries to make a move heading up Clay Hill? Well, he has a look one side, he'll look the other. He wants the inside line really for Druids, which is the next double apex right-hander. Is there a gap? Yes, there is. Here comes Cook, man on a mission. Through he goes, up into 2nd place.
I thought he was going to wait till a lodge corner at least, because Colin wouldn't have been expecting that, but that was a clean, decisive move at a difficult part of the track. So fantastic drive. There's plenty more laps for Cook to catch up to Butcher. His car certainly looks the quickest at the moment.
Absolutely. There is Cook's teammate, number 3, Tom Chilton, keeping Tom Ingram at bay. Ingram trying to find a way past and also fend off the challenge of Ash Sutton. And Tom yet to have a touring car podium at Oulton Park, the home track for Speedweek. Look at this move again from Cook.
Wow, in precision, ducked out on the inside. There's never much room there. Usually the cars are in the middle of the road, but whether Turkington saw him or not, Cook was coming through, wasn't he?
And now Camish will try the same thing in a similar Honda Civic, of course, the new FK8 shape. So straight away, Cook, released from the BMW, goes after Rory Butcher. He's got to make up 2.3 seconds against the race leader, and that is Ollie Brown, who is off the road, I think at Old Hall Corner. I fear that might be a safety car as Camish goes to the outside of Turkington and Island Bend, but Turkington just comes out ahead.
Yeah, Turkington was never going to give him room, but safety car is out. But they will race to the board, so Camish isn't quite done with Turkington yet.
And of course, this will bring Cook right onto the tail of Butcher as they slide their way out of his lots. There is Oliphant ahead of Matt Neal, ahead of Adam Morgan, ahead of Tom Chilton.
Wait for the cars coming shots. Oh, he was off early. He was off very early there. I thought he was going to run wide and maybe go across the inside, but...
So up they come to the end of lap 5. We'll have an extra lap tagged on then for that safety car period. Green flags fly at a wet Oulton Park, racing again. Round 7 of the British Touring Car Championship. Matt Neal for the pit lane. Leaders go across the timing line. It's 0.3 of a second between them, and it's game on now between Rory Butcher and Josh Cook for the race line. Race leaders Ingram and Sutton again. Rub going into Old Hall.
You got 2 real hard chargers there in Ingram and Sutton. What a shame for Matt Neal. Remember, next race is his 700th race, and he was in an ideal position potentially to win it had he started near the front. He's going to have no chance now from the rear, so a real shame for Matt Neal.
Well, I can find out exactly why he's got that black and orange meatball flag. It's the mechanical warning flag as Butcher is having to go defensive. He was a little bit deep into Island Bend, and now look, Josh Cook comes right up onto the tail of him to have a go down towards his lots. It would be really bold to find a gap on the inside line there, and one does not present itself. But what Josh Cook can do, of course, is apply pressure to Rory Butcher, but he also knows he needs to get on with this, because now Dan Camish in 3rd place could be a threat to Cook. Down to 4th is Turkington as they climb the hill. Rory Butcher leads for the moment, but is he on borrowed time with a very quick Cook right behind him?
Yeah, just how tight Cook could go round the island hairpin shows the mechanical grip he's got. He's lining Butcher up for a dive into Lodge, definitely. Wait for it. Butcher's defending. Has he been sold the dummy? No, there's still... Cook's not going to go this lap.
But what about Old Hall Corner? That's coming up next if he can start the plan now. Look, Rory Butcher instantly covers off the inside line, meaning that Josh can't really get the inside coming out of Dearleaf to pounce at Old Hall. So this is going to be really interesting. Good defensive driving by Butcher. Up the inside goes Josh Cook. He's done it. He's got the lead. Unless he runs out wide. Butcher comes back at him. They rub coming out of Old Hall Corner. Cook has still got his nose in front as they head down through Denton's into Cascade. Butcher's back in front. Cook has got the inside line for Cascade. Fantastic racing. Cook slides a little. He holds it. He takes the lead back going through the left-hander, and Josh Cook comes out in front. What a fight.
That was very Shedden-esque, wasn't it, into Old Hairpin? Remember when Shedden diving out from behind cars really close, braking at the last minute? That was a brilliant move.
And look who has joined the party. Dan Camish, third, right on the back of Butcher, who straight away has to go defensive. McNeil is still in the pit lane, so he's lost a lap. But look now, Butcher is under attack from Camish. That might play into Cook's hands, except that in turn, Josh has got to get past traffic, which he will do. Is that Ollie Brown back in the race? I think it is. But either way, Josh Cook leads, and he's going to benefit from this squabble for second.
Yeah, the reliability hasn't been good this year at Brands Hatch. We had power steering problems for cars, we had engine problems for cars, and now we've got another problem for McNeil. And you just can't afford to give up race results through reliability issues when you've got someone like Turkington, who is so consistent. Across the grass at the chicane goes Sutton. The gap's ebbing and flowing, the Butcher-Camish Hill gap coming down a bit.
Now, we had just had Dan Camish do the fastest lap of the race, but now Tom Ingram has taken that from him. So no longer is Josh Cook the quickest man out there. Camish is speeding up, but Ingram is lapping faster than anybody. And now that he's been released from behind Morgan, he's hunting down Chilton, who in turn has dropped away from Turkington. That gap has widened, but Ingram now becoming the man to watch to see what else he can salvage in the last few laps of the race. He's on the tail of Chilton, heading down now towards Island Bend.
Yeah, that's because the drivers have now got a real feel for the grid. The conditions have stayed pretty much the same throughout, but the drivers have got a great feel for it. Josh Cook at the front has got a 3-second gap, so he doesn't need to push. Ingram was pushing to catch up that gap.
And he might yet gain another place. We are on to lap 13. There is the Honda Toyota fight. Chilton ahead of Ingram, so he started 14th. He's now up to 7th. So it's been a good effort this by Tom Ingram, but Bobby Thompson, to say, from 27th on the grid up into 15th, into the points. A very, very impressive drive indeed. Always a great leveller. And right now, that's Nicholas Hamilton, who is off the road, approaching Island Bend. He'll get away with that with joy. But Chilton having to defend from Ingram. There are somewhat culinary top two. Cook and Butcher down towards Lodge, with in third spot Camish still under attack from Hill.
There's all three Team Hard CCs in the wars in this race, isn't it? Unfortunately for them. I hope they brought more than 2 spares of everything. They might need more, a fair bit more than that. This is the first race of the day. This was Nick Hamilton. Oh, he hit that pretty hard. That was too deep into Island Hairpin, trying to get the car stopped and turned, and he just ran out of road. But those tyre stacks weigh a fair bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was some damage underneath the bodywork there.
So they've got 2 more races today. They've got 3 in a week's time. So it's going to be pretty frantic. They've got the shakedown session at Knockhill on the Friday afternoon. But you look here at Josh Cook, who is on his 14th of 15 laps. It's been a long time coming. The main, can't even say victory, just good result really for BTC Racing this year. But finally, it looks like Bert Taylor and Steve Dudman's team is going to have a good result, with Josh Cook leading. Tom Chilton is in the top 6 as well, but only just, look, because Tom Ingram is right there behind him as they come over the brow, and look how much they've closed on Colin Turkington. That gap, he's coming down and down and down.
Yeah, no doubt Colin is struggling here in these conditions. Ingram's looking all over the back of Chilton. He's going to find a way. He's going to find a way sooner or later, I'm sure. Has he even got an overlap here as they go up to Druids? No, he hasn't.
It was close there, wasn't it? And he's not given up. So we saw how it is possible to overtake at Druids if you're Josh Cook. Tom Ingram will perhaps line up to have a go at Lodge. So the move has started. He's almost in the back of the Honda. There's just not room. Where does he go now? He wants the inside line, but Chilton comes off that nice and early. Tom Ingram, number 80 in the Toyota, number 3, Tom Chilton there in the Honda Civic, turns into Lodge Corner. The leader, Josh Cook, starts his last lap 2 seconds to the good. Up Dearly, Chilton fends off Ingram on to the last lap they go.
Cook blew the start and he was clearly angry, and that was all the incentive he needed to get back to the front, and he's driven an exemplary race. So hats off to Josh Cook and the BTC team. If he gets round this final lap, he's going to pull off his first victory of 2020.
He took his first BTC racing win at Brands, wasn't it, at the start of last year? Wet race. That was partly down to tyre choice. There's been no real need to choose. You had to go wets for this because of the track conditions, but Cook leading, whereas his teammate Tom Chilton is having to make this car oh so wide. Ingram is still right there behind him as they come through the hairpin at Island Bend. And the Toyota needs to be a length or two even closer to have a proper go. Third isn't yet decided. Camish and Hill separated by only a couple of lengths. There is Turkington, who is still being reeled in by the Chilton-Ingram scrap. And in the background, Adam Morgan has shaken off Ash Sutton to Infinity, which was right up behind the Mercedes, look, has gone AWOL.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake from Ingram coming into that corner, gave a bit of relief to Tom Chilton. Tom's brother Max is racing in the Indianapolis 500 later on today. So a busy weekend for the family across the Atlantic.
So it is going to be Josh Cook with a corner to go, who's on target for the race win. This is Lodge. He'll get the car up dearly, head towards the checkered flag for BTC Racing. It is a first victory of the season for Josh Cook, who comes across the line to win after a great drive at Oulton Park. Rory Butcher, pole position, still not converted to a race win, but he takes second. Dan Camish hands on to third. Jake Hill bags fourth. Colin Turkington fifth, and sixth. With a flash of the lights is Tom Chilton. The results of round 7 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship from Oulton Park, won by Josh Cook. Rory Butcher coming home second, Dan Camish third, the best of the manufacturer entries ahead of Jake Hill and Colin Turkington fifth. Sixth, just Tom Chilton ahead of Tom Ingram, Adam Morgan taking eighth from Ash Sutton, and Chris Smiley rounding out the top 10. Into position comes Josh Cook. How far up the order can he get? Could he be a real hero and get himself into that reversal for race 3? Let's find out as we are set to go racing at a wet Oulton Park. Round 8 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is go. Good start this time by Butcher. Bit of wheel spin maybe from Camish. Turkington's away nicely. Ingram bogs down, and a good start further back by Aidan Moffat, but it is Butcher who will lead down towards Old Hall. Camish slots in second. Turkington goes third. Good start by Chilton, but he gets lent on by Jake Hill. And look at Ash Sutton round the outside line. Bit of leading in the background. Michael Crease getting involved, but it's Rory Butcher who leads from pole.
Yeah, once again, Rory Butcher's made an excellent start. He really has got the clutch and throttle technique right in these difficult conditions, because getting a front-wheel drive car off the line in the wet against a rear-wheel drive car, he should come off worse. So good start from him, good start from Camish. Turkington into a solid third.
And there is Chilton alongside Morgan, who was on the outside line, so Ingram and Oliphant try and have a go at him as they now head up over Hilltop for the first time. Camish crawling all over the back of Butcher, also defending from Turkington. The man to watch in this could well be Ash Sutton, because he is on a mission, look, as he comes up to have a go at Jake Hill. So Ash Sutton, who started 8th on the grid, looking to try to work his way through the pack. Josh Cook is on his toes further back. So too is Matt Neal, who's picking cars off left, right and centre. We'll give you the order at the end of lap 1, but right now it is Rory Butcher not only leading, but getting away slightly from Camish.
Yeah, and making a headway while he's got clear track. It's a big advantage on the first lap in these conditions to have a clear windscreen ahead.
Josh Cook up to 21st, Matt Neal up to 18th, so they're making progress forward all the time. Down they come then now towards Lodge Corner. Hill under attack from Sutton. Look, Chilton going defensive because there's Morgan and Ingram side by side behind him. What can Sutton do now to find a way past Jake Hill? The Infinity in these conditions, certainly in race 2, going really strongly. Sutton gets the inside coming out of Deer Lead. That'll be the outside line for Old Hall. Can Ash Sutton go all the way around the outside? He thinks about it, but no, not on that line. Slots back in behind the Honda.
Yeah, certainly the Infinity looks to be one of the cars that has benefited from some setup changes. Look, he's driven up the inside from the outside. He's on the outside. There's a lot of grip out there. He may brave this out all the way around the outside. Hill gives him room. That's good racing. And yes, Sutton's Infinity looks a stronger car than it did in race 1.
Absolutely right. So he's making progress forward. So that puts him now up into 4th place, although Hill snaps at his heels coming down towards Island Bend. Butcher did lead over the line by 1.2 seconds. It's down to 9/10 in the sectors. Camish going quicker in sector 1, so the lead gap coming down again. The Ford, remember, remember, is heavier slightly than the Honda, but Sutton now charging along. He's up into fourth. He's catching Turkington, not only for third, but also for rear-wheel drive honours. If he gets past the BMW, what can he do about the leader as Morgan is under attack from his former teammate, Tom Oliphant?
Yeah, don't forget the teams have had the luxury of knowing the weather conditions prior to this second race, and they've been able to put a full wet setup on the car. That means geometry changes, it means suspension changes to dampers and springs and roll bars. In the first race, they just didn't have time because it only rained just before the start. So we are going to see slight differences in performance, as I mentioned at the end of race one.
So right now, Rory Butcher leads, but you can see the way the margin is coming down. From 1.2 seconds at the start of the lap, it is down to 0.8. Further back, Matt Neal was in 18th at the start of the lap. He's actually lost out a little bit, in fact, on this lap. He's dropped back one spot. Josh Cook still charging his way forward, but Rory Butcher comes across the line. Now we're getting a replay of the start. Tom Oliphant absolutely storms through the pack there.
Well, he got that lit up perfectly, didn't he? Better than Turkington at the front, in fairness. But Sutton looks to be the one that's really quick. Sutton is going, and he set the fastest lap on the last lap. Sutton is the man to watch. He's catching Turkington very quickly.
And Camish is worth watching because he has caught Rory Butcher. So through Island Bend they come, but Sutton is all over Turkington like a rat. Ingram's having a go at Chilton. Oliphant having a go at Morgan. They're pairing off a little bit, but there's a lot of shuffling that can yet pan out of all of this. And have a look behind Tom Oliphant. Bobby Thompson is in 10th place, having started race 1, 27th. Fantastic day that he's having. Butcher deep into his lobs, Camish deep into his lobs. They are both on the edge here, hunting for grip all the time.
They're right on the limit, and this is a balancing act. You are literally balancing the weight of the car on the grip of those four tyres. Remember, Turkington and Sutton are first and second in the championship at the moment, so they're already thinking about points, but Turkington knows how aggressive Sutton can be.
So through the right-hander they come of Druids. Under investigation for his start is Chris Smiley. That'll be looked at post-race. So if anything, now the leading quartet bunching up. Sutton spurring Turkington along to close on Camish, but you wonder when, rather than if, the Infinity will pass the BMW here. Ash Sutton, whoops, that's Mike Bushell going way, way, way off onto the Foster circuit almost, the short circuit at Oulton Park. Race leaders come through. Turkington having to defend from Sutton, but that Infinity looking so good in these conditions.
They're all taking that wide line through Old Hall. There's more grip on the outside. The inside tends to get very polished there, so there's a bit more grip on the outside, and then to the middle and exit.
1.4 seconds covers the top four. Sutton could yet win this. Ingram round the outside of Chilton. This is for 6th. Toyota on the outside, Honda on the inside. Ingram gets run out slightly wide over the curb, but he'll have the inside line for Island Bend. Fabulous racing between the pair as they break now for the Island Bend hairpin, and that should give the place to Ingram on the inside line.
Yeah, good move by Ingram. Took him 2 or 3 corners to pull it off, but he's finally gets his nose in front. A little Cook update. He's up to 19th.
Okay, so not yet into the points, not yet into the reversal. In fact, he's now 17th because he's making even further progress on this lap. That is the leading quartet. Butcher cannot get away. How long will it take Sutton to get through the pack? This is only lap 4 of 15. He, as I say, is looking really good for a possible victory here. Yeah,
the weight is making a bit of a difference, isn't it, to Butcher's guy. He's got maximum ballast on board. Well, not quite. He's got 54 second maximum. Cook, of course, still carries it. But he definitely is making a bit more difference to the performance in this second race, where the front-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive cars look much closer matched. Look, Camish is defending very hard from Turkington. Will that give an advantage to Sutton off the corner?
It also means that Butcher has got away slightly by another couple of lengths. Now Turkington lines up to have a go. That's the outside at Deer Leap. That is the inside for Old Hall Corner. And Sutton tries to follow him through as well. Is he going to get his nose up the inside? Not quite. They're still side by side for second. Camish on the outside line with more grip. Stays ahead of the BMW. Turkington attacks for second. Keeps Sutton behind him for third as well. Down into Cascades they come. This is playing into the hands of Butcher. They need to stop fighting if they can and somehow work together. But right now, Camish is doing what he needs to do to hang on to second place. He's doing it well, but for how much longer? Can he repel the challenge of Turkington, who in turn has got Sutton coming up to the outside of him, down to Island Bend? Can the Infinity get the move done? No, but Turkington against Camish for second. Can he do it?
Well, he'll have to watch if we get the same opportunity next time. Camish's head looking in the mirrors. He's looking left, he's looking right, he's looking in the outside, but Sutton has taken the opportunity to get past Turkington.
Brilliant move. Camish deep into his lock. So now Sutton has picked one of them off. How taking to find a way past Camish. Turkington was a tough nut to crack, as you'd expect, but now Ash Sutton goes after Dan Camish as they head up the hill. Heading towards Druids. Rory Butcher, in the meantime, has got away. The gap was 1.2, it's now 1.8 seconds. This replay of what was at Hislop's a lap ago. Rory Butcher skims that Recticel barrier on the inside, the middle part of Hislop's. We were all focused on second, third and fourth, but a little blow to the front left corner. Sutton for second, gap on the inside, job done.
Yeah, Camish was not going to put up any fight on that occasion. I think the traction of the rear-wheel drive cars had got it sorted out for this race. It didn't look like they were quite so good in race one, but both the BM and the Infinity are coming off the corners really well now.
So Sutton second, now we look to see how long it takes him to bring down 1.7 seconds against Rory Butcher. He has done the fastest lap of the race, as Tim said earlier, so we know the car has got good speed. Sutton second, having started 8th on the grid. In 5th place is Jake Hill, 6th is Tom Ingram, 7th Tom Chilton, 8th Adam Morgan, 9th Tom Oliphant.
But he's having to defend really hard. He's going to defend hard for a while, but we just know the Sutton is coming.
It's when, not if, isn't it, as far as the lead change is concerned, but equally Rory Butcher won't just roll over, will he? He's going to fight and fight and fight against Ash Sutton then as they power up Clay Hill. This is lap 7 out of 15, and it's still the Ford Focus, this new Mark IV ST, new this year, with a really good chassis, mated to a really good engine that leads the way. But Sutton, a lot of people thought, what are you doing going to Infinity in Laser Tools Racing for 2020? Well, he's underlining why. He's already had a win this season, remember, back at Donington Park, and another one beckons here as they dive down towards Lodge. Is he close enough to have a go? He thinks, he looks. But no, if that were the last lap, maybe he'd have forced the issue, and that's a big moment for Colin Turkington. Is something broken, or was that just a slide?
No, that was a slide. They, again, running quite a lot of rear brakes in the wet, but he just held that rally style. Is he going to dive out? I really thought that he was going to have a go into Lodge, wasn't he? There was a chink of an opening, but Butcher's driving. Look how fast he came off the corner there. Oh, made it easy for him, but through he goes into the lead. Aidan Moffat. I'm sorry, no, Ash Sutton.
That's the one. Ash Sutton takes over the lead. Yes, Rory Butcher running wide and then delaying himself as he got on that boggy grass. So it delays Butcher, and that made life even easier for Ash Sutton, the race leader then, number 116, the Infinity. He's second in the championship. This is good for the championship situation, remember, because he's happily outscoring Turkington. Right, here we are, Old Hall corner. Tim, talk us through it.
Yeah, well, Butcher goes in tight. We know there's not as much grit there. That throws him out wide. And on the grass, on the exit, he has to back out the throttle enough to let Ash Sutton go through. But let's not forget, these are both brand new cars. The Infinity, built by the old team at BMR and Laser Tools in their amalgamation. That's a brand new car as well as the Focus.
Turkington all over the back of Camish as they drop down to Lodge corner now.
And it was that huge run of podiums, wasn't it? Consecutive run of podiums last year that put Camish in the frame. But is this the time that Turkington gets through? Watch the braking error. Camish will brake really late on the outside, and Turkington just knows there isn't the grip. He just can't do it. But Camish is sort of starting on a little podium run, isn't he? He's getting it going a bit like he did last year.
So Turkington would like to take some points off Camish, especially with Ash Sutton, the man that started the race second in the title race, leading, and therefore on target for taking maximum points. Plus, of course, not only the points for winning, but your lap leading point and the fastest lap point, all heading Ash's way right now. Down to Island Bend comes Turkington, but as Tim has been making the point, if he is to overtake, he's got to go offline to do it, and that is where it is wetter and more slippery and more treacherous. He needs to force a mistake if he can out of Camish. Hilltop, down to Hislop's again. Camish covers off the inside line. Colin Turkington thinks about it, but realises that that is not on. Can he force Camish to break a fraction late for a corner, to force him out wide, and then he can capitalise. Ingram up into 5th place in the background. Look, having got past Jake Hill, he is charging along as well, but he's got to make up 3.7 seconds before the end. It's a tall order.
Cook is right on the back of Smiley as well, so pushing for another place.
Will get him into the top 12 for the reversal. Remember, it's 6 to 12 for that reverse grid as down towards Lodge corner comes Colin Turkington. For as long as these two are squabbling, they're playing into the hands of Ingram behind. Look, who is closing. You've also got Oliphant, as we've seen, ahead of Adam Morgan, and he is chasing on in pursuit of Tom Chilton now. Right, we know that Turkington is good up Deer Leap. He's looked in the past, he does it again. Look, tries to get up on the inside line, but he hasn't got the car speed to get ahead of Camish as they head into Old Hall. So, yet again, Dan Camish has
in picking out number 12 from the bag, isn't he?
That's true. Now, what about Josh Cook's chances? Well, there he is, number 66 Honda. Remember, he is from 27th on the grid. He is now 13th with maximum weight for being the first driver across the line in race 1 before the exclusion. And Cabbage goes deep into Island Bend. This is Turkington's chance. Finally, there is a chance for the BMW drivers. They lean on each other. Turkington's got the inside line heading down towards his lots. Cabbage went too deep into Island Bend, and that's all it takes. Turkington has got the line. He's got the place, has he? He will break as late as he can, and he's got the job done. Turkington goes third for lap after lap. He applied the pressure, and finally it comes his way.
It was the smallest of mistakes, just running a fraction deep on the brakes into Ireland. That just opened the door. It was only just BMW 3 Series wide enough, but oh no!
Michael Creason's his teammate, fires Josh Cook across the grass and heading towards the tyre stack. Josh Cook, having just got himself up into 13th place, gets grilled by his teammate going into his lots, and after a great drive for Josh, it comes to naught.
That is not going to go down well.
Not at all. Tom Chilton, therefore, upholds BTC Racing honour. There he is, number 3, but he's on the back foot now as Tom Oliphant, who's getting quicker and quicker as the race wears on, tries to go around the outside of him. We have only got a couple of laps to go. Ash Sutton is on to lap 14. He's now 3 seconds clear of Butcher. Turkington is 3rd. Camish 4th. Ingram is 5th, 1.6 seconds back. That is Chilton versus Oliphant. 2 Toms round Old Hall corner and head on to lap 14. Chilton trying to defend as best he can, but Oliphant is on a mission here. Look, and he goes through.
Yeah, the conditions have just come to him, but he's not done yet. Needs to go all the way around the outside. Chilton gives him just enough room, and good move by Oliphant.
So down Lakeside Straight, Tom Oliphant picks up another place. That puts him now into 7th. It's not been the last couple of laps for BTC Racing, has it, sadly, after contact for 2 cars, and then another one loses a place. But Ash Sutton, what a drive, having worked his way up from 8th on the grid. The car speed he had initially was mighty impressive, and he's just been relentless in this last 15 laps, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got this one under control, hasn't he? Here's a replay of the incident.
They went either side of Smiley.
Yeah. Cookie thought he was ahead. He thought he could turn in. Obviously, Creasy was fighting it out with Smiley, and 3 into 1 just doesn't go.
Cook turns in, had his nose ahead, but as he turned in, bang, on the inside Michael Crease, and that fires Josh Cook across.
And Alex, our cameraman, was right there on the spot. Fortunately, he's okay, I'm glad to say.
Now, Josh Cook is still going, but of course way back now in 21st place, so out of any chance of benefiting from the reversal. Jake Hill down towards Lodge. Tom Oliphant, a man inspired, having finally cracked Adam Morgan. You can see the way he's picked off places subsequently, and he's not done yet, so he is now going for a place in the top 6. But Ash Sutton, who has gained 7 places in all of this, goes on to the last lap of the race.
Yeah, what's happened is the front-wheel drive cars, as this track has dried out a little bit, the front-wheel drive cars have worn out their front tyres a little bit, so towards the end of the race, look, the rear-wheel drive cars have just got more grip. They've spread the weight more evenly, and they've just got more drive off the corner. Look at that. So much more traction off the corner and all the way through.
Yeah, so Oliphant makes that look easy, doesn't he? Just drives past the Honda. Jake Hill straight away tries to fight back, and indeed Oliphant's a little bit deep through Island Bend, and Jake Hill does try to capitalise on that, but the MB Motorsport powered by Blue Square Honda couldn't quite get the job done, so Oliphant secures the place as they come down towards his lots. Meantime, though, Ash Sutton is on target for a 2nd victory of the season, and the 2nd victory in the British Touring Car Championship for the Infinity. He's on his last lap. He'd already got the gap up to over 3.5 seconds, and so Ash Sutton well clear of the opposition. There he is, coming out of Druids. Another mighty impressive drive by Ash, and it's just fantastic to see this brand new car. I know we've had Infinities in the championship on and off over the years, but effectively it's a brand new car built up by BMR Engineering over the winter, and it can deliver the goods, can't it? It's win number 2 of the season. Ash Sutton wins at Oulton Park in round 8 of the British Touring Car Championship. Rory Butcher takes 2nd, and it's Colin Turkington for 3rd. Look in the background to see Dan Camish just ahead of Tom Ingram. Look for 4th and 5th. That gap was only 3/10 at the end. Round 8 of the British Touring Car Championship won by Ash Sutton, from Rory Butcher 2nd and Colin Turkington 3rd. It's 4th Dan Camish and 5th Tom Ingram. Tom Oliphant 6th ahead of Jake Hill and Tom Chilton, with Adam Morgan 9th and Bobby Thompson rounding out the top 10. flag is shown at the back. This is round 9 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship, and it is go. Who makes the best start there? Look for Tom Oliphant, because the rear-wheel drive BMW tries to blast through the pack. Tom Chilton gets up the inside, but Adam Morgan will have the advantage down in turn 1. Tom Oliphant on the outside. They had a great battle in race 2, but the Morganator leads as they come out of Oulton corner. Adam Morgan leads down to Cascades. Can he fend off Oliphant? He can for the moment. It's Chilton in 3rd. Bobby Thompson is 4th as they go through the left-hander.
Well, big moment for Oliphant as he came through Cascades. Camish had a moment too, but a great start from Oliphant round the outside.
Michael Crease is off the road, and so that car going nowhere. It is a drive shaft on the Toyota, according to the team. Drive shaft woes for Tom Ingram. So that's that as Dan Camish runs out wide, going out of Island Bend. He was wide at Cascades as well. Morgan leads down towards the Hislop chicane for the first time. Ash Sutton is all over the back of Jake Hill. Rory Butcher is next in the queue. Then it's Proctor and Smiley and Bobby Thompson dropping back through the pack.
Oh, lots of cold tyres on the backs of cars at the moment. That's Camish with problems again.
It is. He's losing places, isn't he, as they head uphill then. So they're going through. Sam Osborne, Josh Cook makes his move up alongside Ollie Jackson as the cars dive through Druids then. So Josh Cook gains a place on the inside line. And just to recap, Tom Ingram not in the race, drive shaft failure, that's him done, and Michael Crease has got lots of lawn at the front of the car look, and he's desperately trying to get himself near to the road. Thompson versus Aidan Moffat as they come off Lodge corner, but at the end of lap 1, as they head over the timing line, it's Adam Morgan in the lead, but only just 0.2 of a second. That is all between them. Here comes Moffat on the inside of Thompson, and he gets the job done.
Yeah, we'll see if we get a look through Cascades here. Watch Oliphant's car. He had a big slide here, second last lap. He turns in early to get the weight on the rear earlier in the corner. This time as Crease is coming back onto the track in dangerous place. Hill's got smoky engine problems again.
Michael Crease trying to keep out of everybody's way. Down towards Island Bend they come. Adam Morgan has got them stacked up behind him. McNeil is off the road now, coming through Cascades. Way off. He's got this a bit on Michael Crease's moment, and you can see how far he travels. Right, Morgan is still leading. If that car wasn't wide, Adam, now is the time to make it very wide. Oliphant is behind, Chilton is there, and they are all running as one, aren't they? The Mercedes may have the pace to get away, but Adam Morgan knows how to defend.
Oh, absolutely, and how to win races, and this is a great opportunity. He's got to measure up that BMW. It's quick in a straight line, and Oliphant's got his tyres working very quickly. The BMW taking usually a bit longer, and it's quite cool at the moment, so this pace is ominous for BMW at the moment. Sun's not far away either.
Indeed so a 7th and a 9th so far today for Adam Morgan, a 12th and a 6th for Tom Oliphant. It's Chilton running in 3rd as they drop down towards Lodge corner. There is Josh Cook on his toes again, trying to make progress forward. He's already up into 13th place. He's been the great overtaker of the day in many ways. He just hasn't had the results to go with it. There's the leading quartet. Colin Turkington at the back of that little group has just done the fastest lap of the race. Rule him out at your peril.
And you know what? Sometimes once you get that first win under your belt, the next one can come a lot easier. He's got the confidence, Oliphant, of knowing that he can do it. He did it at Brands. He's super confident. And very often it's like buses. We'll see if he can take advantage of this situation.
Turkington up on the outside of Chilton there. It's good that Tom Chilton's BTC Honda is still circulating competitively. McNeil there, limping on. They've all got to dodge around him. Hopefully nobody gets delayed in all of that. But look at Turkington. He makes that move against Chilton. Chilton's on the inside, Turkington on the outside. They lean on one another, they rub. But Colin Turkington will go through. But here comes Sutton, look. He's got past Chilton and he's got the momentum to have a go at Turkington. He's all right in the back of him. Give him half a chance and Ash Sutton will seize it.
He will try and squeeze it in through a centimetre gap, won't he? If there's an opportunity there. That was a brave move by Turkington to turn in round the outside, but he got the job done.
Now, while all that was going on, Adam Morgan still hasn't really got much breathing space, but he's got Oliphant stuck behind him. So it's front-wheel drive against 3 rear-wheel drives. The next 2 BMWs, then the Infinity. Adam Morgan, another lap ticked off, thinking, go away, Tom Oliphant, go away. The former teammates, of course. It was for Sicily that Tom made his British Touring Car debut, and he's crawling all over the back of Morgan. Now, have a look for 6th. Senna Proctor in the Hyundai. He's going really well. Fastest lap of the race, Ollie Jackson, who is currently running down in, 13th place, but the leaders could not be closer.
No, This is the sort of form we expected from the rear-wheel drive cars coming into this meeting, wasn't it? Based on past sort of glories, but it's Adam Morgan upholding the honours of the front-wheel drive cars at the moment, but he's got 3 very fast rear-wheel drive cars behind him.
And these will be the longest 15 laps of Adam's life because he's under massive pressure, a bit like, in fact, Oliphant was under from Sutton at Brands Hatch, but now tables turned. It's Tom Oliphant applying pressure as they come down into the Hislop chicane. Turkington is there in 3rd, still 4th is Sutton, 5th is Tom Chilton, Senna Proctor is 6th, Rory Butcher incidentally is 8th. Remember, he was the race 1 winner, having inherited that after exclusion. Leaders up the hill, and the gap at the start of the lap was only 0.259 of a second. Front-wheel drive Mercedes versus rear-wheel drive BMW.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to work out where each car looks a bit quicker. Morgan looks very good on the brakes. He's not defending, and he looks good on the brakes. The BMW looks a little bit faster in the quick corners.
So through Lodge they will turn. Further back there, look, Rory Butcher all over the back now. Jake Hill, Josh Cook has a go against Aidan Moffat. That is for 10th place. And again, that BTC Honda, this time without any weight, looks a very rapid car indeed, doesn't it, Josh Cook? Desperate to salvage something out of the weekend, and as I say, he's going for a place in the top 10 here.
Yeah, it's a very quick car indeed.
Sam Osborne is next in the queue, then Lee Jackson in 13th place. Bobby Thompson, the man that started on pole, has dropped all the way back to 17th. Now there are the leaders, Morgan versus Oliphant, absolutely nose to tail. Fastest lap, Colin Turkington, he's closing on these two.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to scrap too much with Oliphant, I'm sure, and Oliphant knows that, but he'd like Oliphant to make the gap, wouldn't he? And he could probably follow through, but he's not going to put too much pressure on him, I would think.
Don't rule out Sutton, because if they all start concertinaing, and that is what's happening, because Turkington has caught Oliphant. If he gets stuck, that's going to get Sutton closer to the back of the reigning champion, so it's going to be interesting now to see what WSR, Team BMW, elects to do, whether to let them duke it out. Ash Sutton hasn't actually got right onto the back of Turkington yet, still got 2 or 3 lengths to make up. We're getting a driving standards flag for Carl Broadley for track limit excesses, and Carl currently is 15th, the last of the points boards.
Yeah, I guess that, I mean, West Surrey are quite happy the way the situation is at the moment. Sutton's not all over the back of Turkington. Colin's probably thinking, come on, Tom, at least have a go at Morgan, but at the moment he's outscoring Sutton. Sutton's closed him down by only 2 points so far in the first 2 races from the points they had coming in. So at the moment he's still advantaged Turkington.
So out of Oulton corner they go, the lead gap 0.359 of a second, another fastest lap of the race last time done by Colin Turkington. Down through Cascades they come, but Ash Sutton is not really bringing down that gap. He's lapping over half a second slower now, so he's not making the progress that he needs to.
No, that's what I mean. They're actually quite comfortable at the moment. He's not all over the back trying to force the issue.
And even though they're close, they're not battling enough to delay. That's Chris Smiley rattling up the inside of Rory Butcher. Chris, as we know, takes no prisoners. He goes through, gets a little tickle in the tail by Rory Butcher's Ford Focus, but the XLR8 Hyundai goes through, and Chris Smiley then now putting himself back up the order into 8th place, except Rory's not done with him yet. I'll have that place back, he says.
Good move. Got a bang in the door, but that was a good late manoeuvre, as it looked like it could have been a touch from Smiley there. Exiting Nickerbrook, but yeah, good move by Butcher to get through.
So Butcher slicing back into 8th place. Chris Smiley slots back in behind him as the cars now turn through Druids. There is the recovering Matt Neal. There's a bunch of tyre that has been changed. They've lapped him once, they'll lap him again potentially. Morgan, Oliphant, Turkington through Lodge corner. So Adam Morgan has led since the get-go, comes out of dear lead over the timing line once more. Is that gap creeping up? It was 2/10, then it was 3/10. Now it has gone up by 400ths of a second, so not by much.
No. Fairly calm race 3 at the moment, actually.
That's torn.
Good. I'd like to see Tom have a real go.
Colin Turkington, I think he's happy to bank points, isn't he? But could Sicily take an overdue win? Let's see. It was a torrid time last year, but a change of engineering staff. Steve Farrell, ex-TWR, BAR, Formula 1, Pro World Rally Subaru experience. He has come on board as the chief race engineer, made a huge impact on the team, and you can see the dividends now are paying back as the car counts over Hilltop. Rory Butcher versus Chris Smiley. Butcher staying ahead this time. Over Hilltop, actually Senna Proctor is the next one to watch. He's on the tail of Tom Chilton now, going for 5th place. And look at the back of Josh Cook's car, or what is left of it. It's been another bruising day for Josh, and the rear
inside, but
coming out of Druids, underneath the Bailey Bridge they come, and their indicator on, Tom Oliphant. Is he letting Turkington go? Yes, he is.
Wow.
So he does it rather obviously, but he moves to one side, lets Colin Turkington go through. Ash Sutton is closing, so now Turkington is released.
Well, I think that was a case of Tom was told, if you can't get past, we're going to have to let Colin have a go because he's lapped a bit quicker. And, you know, they might swap the positions back if he doesn't get through, but if he does, they've got to afford him the chance.
Certainly didn't leave anybody in any doubt as to what was going on, though. Did he? No. Indicator on, move to one side. However, we have a change for second place. Team orders at work, but Colin Turkington goes through. Now he can have a go at Adam Morgan, who has got to try and put a lap on Matt Neal. So the last thing Adam wants when he's got the BMWs breathing down his neck is to cart a lap. And look at the way Turkington now is going for it.
Yeah, well, Matt should get the blue flags and Matt should pull out out of the way, but because it's not for position.
A long way back. It's Matt after his dramas in 25th place. So there you've got number one, Colin Turkington running in second. Done the fastest lap of the race, and now Morgan goes ahead of Matt Neal. Turkington will do the same as Matt slowly heads uphill. But the way that Turkington is going, still with half the race to go, he still has a very good chance of winning this race.
Yeah, and it's clearly what he's going to try and do, isn't it?
Yeah. Released from behind his teammate, he's chasing down Adam Morgan. Now, Sutton here is certainly going after Oliphant, and there could yet be a change for third place, couldn't there?
Yeah, they've all closed up a bit, haven't they? Whether that's a case of it's a slow. Is that
Matt Neal.
That's Matt Neal just letting everyone past again.
Yeah. So he's keeping out of harm's way. Leaders go across the line. The gap's still 0.3 of a second. Doesn't matter which BMW you put in second place. Adam Morgan can't shake it off, but he still does lead the way. Another lap ticked off. We're on to lap 9 of 15. Can he hang on in there? Can he get a first podium of the season as he comes now out of that left-hander of Cascades on now to Lakeside Straight?
There's no question the BMW is very good in the fast corners. The balance of the car is absolutely excellent, and it has good straight line speed as well.
The danger is that if Adam Morgan was to lose the lead, they come flooding past him. So he's got to try and defend as best he can against a whole train of cars behind. And we're getting a track limit drive-through penalty for Ollie Jackson as Morgan rides the curves coming through his lot. This lap 9 of 15. So Mercedes front-wheel drive lead the 3 rear-wheel drive cars behind. BMW, and then the Infinity. Turkington is charging to get close enough to have a go. But Oliphant, incidentally, has done an absolute best in the sector on this lap.
Yeah, it's a little. He's got a bit of an advantage of the toe, a bit of advantage in that for sure. And following his teammate in exactly the same car does help.
Down they come into Lodge Corner. What's going on for fifth? It's still Chiltern just ahead of Proctor. Senna Proctor having great pace. We saw that at Donington, remember, at the start of the season. Then an engine problem hit. But the Hyundai brand new car for this year, again, good to see new shapes coming into the series, is really going nicely. Senna has been a race winner in the past. Bruce Smiley, his teammate, is not that far behind. So the Accelerate run Hyundais, and this isn't being done on the massive budget either. They're just very effective, well-designed, well-built, well-engineered cars with 2 good drivers doing the business.
Yeah, very much so. Looks close, doesn't it? But Adam Morgan's really canny. He knows where to place the car. Look, he placed it to the left, then just moves slightly to the middle, but not enough to open the door on the inside. These 4 are getting very close together. And
equally, he's defending from somebody who is not noted for pulling risky moves. Colin Turkington knows exactly how to win championships and how to win races, but he's not the sort of driver that's going to force the issue if he doesn't have to. He'll apply the pressure, yes, but Adam Morgan here is racing against somebody who he can be confident in racing against. That's his teammate, Jack Butel, against Stephen Jelly, and Mike Bushell has joined in, admittedly a little bit late, but he has joined in, and he is there in 19th place. Over the brow, down they come now towards Hislop's. Mike Bushell trying to get up the order and go for points. Jack Butel for 18th, looking pretty good, of course, but it's the other Mercedes that leads. But for how much longer? Now Turkington is really starting to crank up the pressure. Yeah, and now that Morgan's having to defend even harder, it's just going to bring the whole bunch together and make it even harder. So out of Deer Leap they come over the line. Who is going to be the first person to shuffle the order? Will it be Turkington or Morgan? Will it be Sutton on Oliphant. We're on lap 11 out of 15, so we've had this status quo for many a lap. When is it all going to kick off? That's kicked off for Stephen Jelly. There's damage coming out of Druids. He's parked it. Ugh. Are we going to get a safety car? And there is somebody else that's been involved. That's Ollie Brown, is it not? Yes, it is. And he's heading for the pit lane with what limited visibility he has got. Morgan into Island Bend, and he still leads, but only just.
Oh, big power slide from Turkington coming out there, trying to get the power down. Safety car is out, but they're racing to the boards.
They are, so Adam Morgan leads the way. A safety car is coming out because of where Stephen Jelly's BMW is parked. And Nicholas Hamilton, we understand, is involved in that as well. So there's been a right old skirmish up at Druids.
Oh, there's Hamilton's car, Hardenwall. That's again on the exit of Druids, just after the crest of the hill there.
So Adam Morgan will drive past this thinking, please be a long clear-up operation. Let's try and work it all out. Stephen Jelly was up the road having one incident. So that's Jelly spinning. Hamilton comes along, and gets clipped by Jelly, and then Ollie Brown must have got into the back of him. Red flag, race stop. So if the race is not restarted, it's a win for Adam Morgan. I think because we've done 75% and it's going to be a lengthy barrier rebuild, then we can't see the race being continued, but we shall see. The clock says no, 73% we've got to, so we will await confirmation from the race officials.
All the drivers are okay, so that's the good thing.
I think it's just that it's going to be a very lengthy barrier rebuild, which would take you to the end of any safety car period, but it might be that you get a restart for a couple of laps, but we'll wait and see what the clerk of the course, Ian Watson, elects to do. There's another race still to run at Oulton Park and a very tight curfew to think about as well. So right now, the race is suspended, and we shall await confirmation as to whether or not it can be restarted. But as I say, we've done 73%.
Yes, they could have run behind the safety car for a couple more laps, couldn't they? And that would have made the 75%.
Although I suspect you could argue that you put the red flag out at 75 and then the result goes back a lap, and that's when you get to 73.
True.
So I'm sure there is a plan in race control, and we shall await definitive news, but it looks provisionally as though Adam Morgan may have taken a race win. At the end of round 9 of the British Touring Car Championship, the result declared at 10 laps, Adam Morgan the race winner, Colin Turkington second and Tom Oliphant third. Ash Sutton fourth ahead of Tom Chilton and Senna Proctor. Jake Hill seventh, Rory Butcher eighth, then it's Chris Smiley and Aidan Moffat in 10th.
Coming up after the break, we wind back to 2014 and to the final round of the inaugural high-tech figure eight drift series from Sydney Motorsport Park's Figure Eight Circuit.